We are broadcasting now from Lerwick in Shetland. We have just completed a circumnavigation of Shetland. We landed from Scalloway on the west coast, and then we made our way up clockwise around Shetland, around the top of Shetland, which is called Mukla Fluka, the northernmost point of the British Isles. And then we made our way south again on the east side of Shetland. And we did a stop as well in Baltic Sound, but also Outer Skerries, which is the easternmost island of Shetland, which was very interesting. Martin was very impressed with all the lights. He said it's like Christmas tree with all the lights to get into Outer Skerries. And now we have arrived in Lerwick, but we are we have been deep cleaning the boat, or part of the boat today, and I will continue tomorrow, the deep clean of the boat, which has to be done once in a while. I will let my younger brother, kid brother, introduce himself.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Martin, and I joined the boat 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I will be flying back to Denmark tomorrow, but it has been interesting. It's very green here. There's grass and a lot of sheep, but it's very, very rocky and very green. There's just two things. Of course, there's the tide. I haven't had this is my first time actually sailing in an area where there's the tide of an amount that it's something that you have to pay attention to. I think it was up to 2.7 meters of tide. Of course, that is leading to current. So it's been a great experience to get a feeling for planning that. Say that we have to leave either very early in the morning, kind of often, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to catch the right current, go in the right direction. But besides that, I can just say that's been a true pleasure listening to Chris, not only teaching me, but also teaching the other crew members being on board.
There's one memory I have. Well, of course, we did a lot of dinghy racing together. Amazing trips all over Europe and Spain and France. We went to Palma de Mallorca sailing. Martin lost his passport, and we had to smuggle him home all the way from Palma de Mallorca to Denmark to hit him in the car. That was before the EU. But one memory I have is not relating to racing. It was when we took our parents' boat. I think one of the first times, 21 feet to 7 meters. Right?
Yeah, in
yeah. And we, I don't know if it was the first trip, but we were allowed to take the boat, just the two of us, and we sailed, and we had to cross the Bay of Køge, and there was very big waves there. And I remember that Martin was on the helm, and then he said, "Chris, can you take the helm?" And then I took the helm, and then I realized why he gave me it, because the waves were very big for this little boat. And then I said, Martin, I think we should go back. So then we sailed back to a nearby marina, and then we were very exhausted and we fell asleep. And then my mom and dad came in the afternoon to check on us and brought us food. And then the weather eased off, and then we continued over the big bay, which is actually quite big, yeah, for such small vessel, yeah. So that is, let's say, our first, offshore experience, I think.
That is offshore. Memory, as I recalled it also in details, but there's actually a little bit more to the story, because it was extremely windy. I think it was the daytime, it probably been like 30 knots, maybe a little bit more, and the wave becomes big. But in the evening, late evening, when the weather comes down a little bit, we actually took off. So we took off at 11 o'clock. So we sailed during the night. That was a decision we took ourselves, I recall. But thinking about our age at that time, and if my kids say, "Can we take the boat and just sail during night in kind of stormy weather?" That was kind
forget
of. But yeah, forget it exactly. And we went into the harbor. That we came to after the crossing, 7 o'clock in the morning, and went to sleep. But unfortunately, the harbor master woke us up because he wanted us to pay. But we just arrived.
Yeah.
But I will also say that all of the dinghy racing has been very, very great experience. We have been sailing all over Europe, as Chris said, France, Italy, and Spain, even England we went to.
We went to Weymouth.
Yeah. Germany, Finland, Norway, Sweden. And these trips, putting that in our van with all our, packages and boat on top and all kind of stuff, and we're cooking. It has just been like a great experience from when you're not sailing, you're on land, you're cooking. It's like camping, and we sleep in a tent. And
you meet so many people from all over Europe. No, like-minded people. Good.
It's been very good. Yeah. So the official plan, or the original plan, I would say, was that I should join on Faroe Islands and then, sail from the Faroe Islands down to the Shetlands. But due to the COVID restriction, Chris on the boat couldn't go to the Faroe Island because that's Danish territory. So he had to change his plan, and that made it a little bit difficult for me to fly into the UK. And get a flight, and I had to fly to the Orkney Islands, and there's not that many flights from Denmark to the Orkney Islands. I can see. I think what you could say is that a lot of people dream about sailing, to sail around the globe, or we're gonna cross this huge ocean or whatever. And reality is, first of all, that not a lot of people is actually doing it, but just going for a trip like that only takes a week, or in this case 2 weeks, gives you so much experience and pleasure. So maybe if you cannot plan for a long trip, many months, do a week here, do a week there, and go for new locations, and not only experience the sailing, but also the area you're sailing in. Go do it, and do not be disappointed that it's only a week. Oh, it's only a week, so short time. But it's a very intense. It's 24/7. Right? You go to bed, you're up next morning, you sail, you do whatever it is to do. That's not much waste of time in any aspect. So.
Did more sailing locally, you can say. Okay, we're from Denmark, but we went to the UK and we sailed around the UK. So I think now with all these travel restrictions and more difficult to travel, people should explore more in their local area, and had quite a few people, British people coming. The UK has so much to offer, because they can't go as they normally do, go to Spain or Greece. They start exploring their own country, yeah. And I think it is so important to explore your own country. I remember when we were kids, my parents said, "No, we're not going to go abroad. First, we travel our own country, and then we go abroad." And I remember they packed us up, my brother and me and my sister, in this little car. I remember we could just sit 3 people in the back seat, yeah. And then we drove around in Denmark on the hostels, basically hostels, yeah, because my parents didn't have a lot of money when we were there when we were small. So, and that was how we explored all of Denmark, and that's what you have to do. And we don't went abroad. I remember the first trip we did abroad was actually to the Canary Islands, which I'm going back to now after more than 40 years, I think. Because we went, I think I was 12 when we went there. It was my first flight before we flew to Tenerife, yeah. And all the earlier years we have been traveling in Denmark to explore our own country. So I think people should look more locally and also buy locally and stay local, yeah.
Spent a lot of summer vacations sailing around Denmark.
After we got the boat, we were sailing around here. So traveling in this little car, and then after that we sailed around. I wouldn't change anything. It was great, The sailing, I remember in those days we didn't even have a toilet on the boat. No, what we had was a builder's bucket, one of the black builder's buckets, and you had to sit if the weather was good, you could sit out in the cockpit while people were steering the boat and do your business. Or if the weather was bad, you would sit down in the cockpit, downstairs on the bucket, and then you would hand the bucket up, and then somebody had to put it over the side. And that was how we were sitting in those days. So no, I don't know how my mother did. We had no fridge. We just had a cool box, and then when we got to the harbor, the first job, it was always, oh, it's your turn, Martin. No, it's your turn to go to the ice cream parlor with these cooling elements and then ask them to exchange them so you could get some cold ones. It was the first job we had to do when we got to the harbor to get cold, to keep the food cold. Yeah. And my mother she had one burner, no?
Yeah.
One burner, and she was cooking meals for us on this little boat, 7 meters. Yeah. When we were aground down in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So my mother, my father never took any qualification actually, navigation. He was just like self-taught, more racing, sailing like that. So my mother said, no, we need, we're sailing with the children. So she did her navigation, her day skipper, so to speak. Yeah. And it was the first year, and in those days, no GPS. Yeah. We didn't even have a depth gauge, I think.
That's correct, we did.
There was no depth gauge also. So all she had was compass, a handheld compass, and then she had to look for the buoys and things like that. And then we went through down the south part of Denmark, a very narrow strait with lots of marks and everything. And it was quite windy, and the boat was heeling over. And suddenly my father looked over the side. He said, I don't know if he had any swear words, but there's no water here. And because we were heeling over, yeah. And then he started to bear away, and then the boat straightened, and boom, we were on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was so shallow that my father, he could go into the water. The water only went up to his chest, yeah, and he tried to push the boat off. And then my mother came with a gammeldans with some liquor. You want some gammeldans? No! But luckily, a big German powerboat came, and my father swam out with a rope, gave it to the powerboat, and that pulled us off. Yeah. But full marks for my mother. How to navigate in those days, now we just have our eyes, look at it where we are. In those days, it was not like that. You had to really be on top of the ball. Huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's been great to have Martin on this trip because, I've done a lot of things on the boat, upgraded and everything. And so it was great for him, for me to have him to come and see how the business is running, and then also get some of his feedback and suggestions for improvements and so on. So that was great. I'm a bit sad that he's already leaving. I tried already to tell him that he cannot travel because he doesn't have a COVID test, but he's still adamant to go. I must admit, a lot of the crew that's been on the boat, many of them are more than guests or crew. They're more like friends now. A lot of them are coming back again for more, which is very satisfying for me, because that means that what we are doing is the right thing. Yeah. And I learned so much also from the people, and it's really rewarding that when they finish the trip and they are, the feedback from the crew is normally quite, well, normally it's always quite good. Of course, there's always room for improvement. Of course, the Saga Masala is always a winner, so that's good.
This is actually the first time that I've been on a boat with with people that I don't know beforehand, and some who are considering joining a trip here in Saga say, I don't know these people, who are they? And but I would say everybody comes very, very open-minded. We are, so to say, in the same boat, all of us. And it's great to have a chat with them. We had 4 different nationalities, and just talking about their background and what they're doing for a living and how they got into sailing, etc. So pretty fast. It's just one big happy family. So if if you're concerned, so to say, I'm gonna sail with somebody that I don't know, that's not a concern that you should be focused on at all, because people are so, become positive. They want to, they come here to sail and have the experience, and with that, it ends up fantastic, so to say.
They gain a lot more confidence on the boat. Yeah, the confidence that if they're new to sailing and it's like their first sailing experience, then I would say they go away from the boat with a good foundation as a competent crew, and confident also. Yeah, because it's not just 3 days course to learn some skills. It's actually 9 days. So with sailing is to repeat and use it again. The bowlines coming alongside, anchoring and all these things, putting up the sails, bringing the sails down, KMT and so on. Yeah. Most of them will go away and want to come back and learn more, and take it to the next level. Yeah. So that's also very good. Yeah. So that means also that again we have doing something right. I think it's nearly 50-50, I would say, with the men and the female. And in age group, we have everything from 30 up to in the 70s. There's a guy joining now. He's 72. A very experienced sailor. He's a friend of Lynn, who was on the Inner Hebrides adventure, and he's very experienced and very fit. 72 years old. So I'm looking forward to sail with this guy because he is very experienced. So, and I will also learn something. Each trip I learn something. I learned something when a novice is asking me a question. Why is it called the head or something like that? Yeah, I got that question. I said, why is it called head? I don't know. And then it's always good when you get somebody who's questioning why is it like that, and then if you don't know it, then of course you investigate, and then I always learn something. It's good. It is to see how the people, they come on the boat. They don't know, can't do a bowline. Even some people have a day skipper that still can't do the bowline and things like that. And then see how they progress through those 9 days, and we get all these, bad habits. I don't want to call it bad habits, but the way I do things, with the bowlines, with the lines and things like that, and we get them molded into a part of the team, yeah, and they get the confidence, and they can take the helm, and they can do close reach and things like that, and steer the boat, and that's and of when the waves are crashing over the boat, and they're steering the boat, and they're enjoying it, and they are happy and confident, yeah, and enjoying it. This is the fruit of teaching.
And what do you always say about the knots?
If you don't know a knot, tie a knot.
So on these words, then, been good sharing. Continue, and we look forward to hear more.
Yeah.
Watch this space.